Hey all you Batman fans, and welcome to the Jedi Night's Watch. My name is Graham, and today we're going to be doing another Hot Toys figure unboxing and review. This is Bane from the Dark Knight Trilogy. This is a figure that I've been waiting for a long time to come, and very happy to finally have him in the collection. I can't wait to see the improvements that were made on this figure. And I got mine from Hawk Wars Toys. You can find his store on eBay. I have a link in the description below. Go hit Ray up and see what he has at his store. Great guy to work with, so yeah, go see what he has. Here we can take a look at the art box, and I really do like what they're doing with these Dark Knight Trilogy boxes with the black and white, and I love how the image kind of takes up the whole space of the front, and then you have that reflective Dark Knight Trilogy logo. This is Bane, and this is going to be MMS 689, but they've been doing this with Catwoman with the DX19, and I really do like the look of these art boxes that they are going with here. And I had the 1.0, so this was a figure that I've had for a while. I sold it in anticipation for this, so super excited to finally get a look at it. This is going to be a slip cover, so it does have that window display, so you can see the figure in the clamshell there. And then when we take it off, we get it on the table. You can see more art kind of just wrapped around the box itself, so just a nice touch there by Hot Toys. And once we get him out of the clamshell, we're going to be able to see everything that comes with the figure. And maybe because it's been a while since we kind of looked at the prototype and whatnot, but there's less than I thought there would be. Not that I thought there would be, I guess I forgot what all comes with the figure, so this is kind of a refresher for me. But here you can see everything on the table that does come with the figure. Couple coats, so few different ways to be able to display this guy. Really cool base. I'm looking forward to see that. But first, let's get this figure out. First impressions look really good, but of course we got to start with the base, and we've seen this before. I haven't personally, because I have not owned the Catwoman figure, but we've seen this base before. They're using it again for Bane, and it really does fit very nicely. Comes with the normal crotch grabber here, and then it's going to be like this rusty sewer base that we saw with Bane in the movie, and really nice texture, like a grate on the front there. And then we do have these adjustable legs here as well, and you're going to be able to utilize this base in a lot of different ways. You can use it just as it is here. You can put the water underneath, you can put the backdrop on, you can put the rails on and leave the backdrop off. So just a lot of things you can do. I love that you can adjust the height too. Comes with the rusty rail, and they're really good paint applications here. It's just going to peg in on the bottom. Here comes the rushing water that goes underneath, and you can see where the feet of the base kind of set in. It looks pretty good. It looks a little almost rocky to me, like maybe it was done a little too much with the paint apps. Maybe a little softer would have been good, but no issues there. And then we do have the backdrop here. We flip it around, you can see the grate. It is going to be cardboard. It does look a little cheap, but they did add like a reflective touch to it just to kind of give it a little bit of realism. And then one more piece here, like a broken off railing for the other side. Once we have it together, this is the full version. It is a really hard, I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's hard to adjust the legs because they just want to pop out. So you can do it this way, but then when you push it back on, they kind of pop back down. But anyways, it's a little tricky. You just got to futz with it a little bit. And then again, you can display this multiple ways. For me, I'm probably not going to use the backdrop, but you know, I just think, I don't know, I think it looks better without the backdrop. It's just too tall, too narrow. So I kind of like the diorama base, but maybe without that back piece there. So that's going to come off for me, and it just unpegs from the railing, and then it slides off from the foot of the base itself. So here's how I'm going to use mine. Kind of simplistic, but yet diorama style. I really love the grate, the texture on it. I love the paint apps with the rust effects. I think this is a really cool base and has many uses. Taking a look at the accessories, it kind of does look a little slim. Like, I don't know, what could they have added? You guys let me know in the comments. Maybe a Harvey Dent picture, maybe a couple other things, like even a shotgun. I don't know, something would have been cool. But got different hands here. We got fisted hands, we got gripping hands, and then we have like resting hands are on the figure. You get the broken cowl just like last time. It does look better, but I do wish they would have left the water effect on to make it look wet. It's very matte finish, but you can see like extra detail on the cowl itself where it cracks. And then you do have the tool to use for the rolling eyes, but you really don't need it. And then this piece here is for the gauntlet, and if you're putting the coats on, has a little piece of Velcro here that you can wrap around the thumb of the hand, and then it's supposed to be shorter so that it doesn't I can go underneath the coat sleeve a lot easier, so it just fits right under it instead of having that whole gauntlet go all the way up. It would be pretty tricky. Taking a look at the coat here, we got a real metal zipper, so that's nice. This is not going to be pleather. It's like a nylon material. I wish they would have made the gauntlet the same type of material, because that was one of the problems that I had with my 1.0, was that the gauntlet would peel very easily. Both of them started peeling. Even the coat, they got away from pleather, but why couldn't they do like even maybe the coat's material for the gauntlet, just to make it more of a fabric material so it would last longer. I am worried about that gauntlet because you do need to apply some pressure to get that off the hand, but nonetheless, here's the coat. No wires in the collar. I thought that would have been a nice touch to have some wires just to be able to form the collar a little bit, but I do like the weathering going on here. You got the pouches with the stuffing in to make them look full. You got the buttons and a really nice liner on the inside. It's a really nice looking coat. It might be, you know, we're gonna have to futz with it. We'll see. Is it gonna be too baggy? Is it gonna fit right? But nonetheless, let's get the figure out here. Let's get all the padding off and get him out on the turntable. And here he is, our first look at our Bane 2.0 from the Dark Knight trilogy. He looks impressive. He looks quite a bit different from the 1.0. The only reason I wish I had that 1.0 is so I could compare it to this one right here, so you could see the differences. The head sculpt was really good on that one, but even on this one, when we get closer in, you're going to see a lot of detail that maybe we didn't see on that first one. The rolling eyes is going to be a huge deal for this thing too, but the silicone body, the medical grade silicone body, is going to be a big upgrade. But not only that, look at all the texture on the skin. Look at the proportions of this Bane figure. Look at the head sculpt. He is menacing. He is ready to beat the hell out of Batman. So this looks like such a good figure, and it's definitely been worth the wait. I'm so glad to finally have him in. Let's get him in hand so we can get a feel for the figure and get a little closer look. He's heavy, that's for sure, but taking a look at the head sculpt, again, it's really, really good. I love the paint apps. I love the detail in the mask. But look at this. You got like scarring and stuff on the head, but also like a glistening, like he's either, you know, kind of wet from the sewer or just sweating a little bit. Looks really, really good. And then, of course, the mask always has such good detail on it, too, kind of at all angles. Look at that side profile. That looks amazing. Even the back of the mask looks good. You got the vest and all the detail going on there and the straps. You got the scar going down the back. I love how they added this to the silicone body. You got the scarring and yeah, I guess it's scarring. It's on the arms and whatnot, but you can feel it. It feels so cool. It's like real skin. That's going to be a little bit of an issue, but there really isn't much they could do unless you didn't want to switch out the hands at all. So you're going to see that peg. But other than that, I think this looks really good. The vest looks awesome. I'm glad that they glued it down, tightened it. It was kind of a pain with the 1.0. A little bit of pleather here, I think. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. And it is on the back of the figure, so it's not really that big of a deal. But look at all the straps and just the detail going on. The pants look awesome. They seem a little bit baggier to me than the 1.0, as they should be. It's probably a bigger body. No split cut boot design, so there's really no movement in the boot. I don't know, how do you guys feel about that? Would you rather maybe lose a little bit of realism and have more posability, or do you like it like this where you lack the posability but it looks maybe a little bit more realistic? Let me know. I don't really do like articulation, but I am curious to see on where some of the movements are here with this figure, because it is such a unique figure in itself. So we're just testing it out here a little bit. Arms don't go flat to the sides, but they go down pretty far. It's a ratcheted elbow here, and you can kind of see that's the only thing I don't like, is that gap between the skin and then the wrist peg there. It's a little gaudy, but again, there's really not much you can do about that. It does articulate very well though, and it holds the pose very nicely. No ratchet in the knees, but still poses just fine. And then the legs go up to about here as well, so no issues there. You know, putting the arm forward is a little tricky because you got a lot of restriction going on there. As you can see, it kind of sags down. It almost reminds me of like the Batman Forever poses, because you got all that rubber, so it's got to go somewhere, and it kind of just pushes it back down. But yeah, it's overall, I would rather lose some articulation, have this figure look so realistic as it does. This thing bothers me a little bit. You can see we can easily get in there to move the eyes and whatnot, but if you aren't looking with this new neck peg, if you're not looking when you're putting it on, it bumps into the rolling eyes, and then it like moves the eyes. So you just got to make sure that you get it right first, because as you can see here, so I just jammed up the PERS system, so that's a little bit of an issue there. But nonetheless, let's get him out here with some other figures and get a little size comparison. I don't have a whole lot of Dark Knight Trilogy figures, so here we have Batman Begins. I might get the newer Armory that's coming out, but I don't really have any other figures. Waiting on Joker, didn't get Catwoman. Here you can see him with BVS Batman, and he still towers over Bane, and Bane is a bigger figure, so this is quite an amazing comparison here itself. And why not get another Batman figure from another universe? We have the Batman, just so you can kind of see how they pose together and whatnot. All right, enough of that. Let's get him into some poses, talk about some of the things that I like about the figure, and maybe some things not so much. Starting with the things that I really like, it's obvious. You know, the body is a night and day difference from that 1.0. The joints are covered. We have a medical grade silicone body that hopefully stands the test of time. I'm still not going to push him into a lot of those poses where the arms are bent, you know, quite a bit. I'm not going to leave him in that for long periods of time, just because I don't want it to, you know, deteriorate or anything like that. But the other thing is, it's nice that you can, let's just say the body doesn't last. You have 2 coats that you can do. So you have 3 different looks that you can do for this Bane. So nonetheless, this figure really should stand the test of time. The head sculpt is great. I love the fact that they added rolling eyeballs, because obviously he doesn't have a mouth that shows. All you see is his eyes. So you can't really express a lot of emotion unless you have those rolling eyes. So now we can tilt that head down, we can put the eyes to the side, and we can just get Bane into a much more menacing look on the display. The next thing that I really like is the base. I love the fact that you can add things to it, take things away, maybe if you're not a big fan. Like if it was just one piece where I had to use the backdrop, I don't think I'd like this as much. But the fact that I could take that off and, you know, you can adjust the legs, even though it is a bit of a pain, I do like how I can adjust the height and use certain parts of the base, and it still looks super, super impressive. And the last thing that I really like about this is the fact that they made the coat out of a material that's not pleather, so we don't have to worry about the coat peeling. That was a big issue with the 1.0. My coat peeled as well, so don't have to worry about that anymore. And I love the fact that they added in that secondary coat. A couple things that I didn't like as much. The first thing is it's hard to adjust the base while it's attached to the water. You kind of got to grab kind of 2 of the legs at a time and try to adjust it itself. It's not terrible, but it is a little bit of a pain in the butt. The second thing is the way that the neck peg plugs into the head. If you're not careful with that, it's going to mess up your eyes, and he's going to look like he's in a possessed Bane, so it's going to really roll those eyes back. So just make sure you're looking at that. I do worry because it does feel a little cheap with the plastic in parts in there, so I worry if you like yank on the head a little bit too much, it's going to break. But nonetheless, just be careful with it. And lastly, I love the fact that they got rid of the pleather coat, but I wish they would have gotten rid of the pleather gauntlet. I wish they could have made that into the same type of fabric as one of the coats, just so that would stand the test of time too, because that did peel on my figure prior. And I do have a feeling, you know, when you're taking that on and putting it off, and that pressure and that friction that you're applying, I do feel like it's going to peel over time, you know, so that's kind of a bummer. But overall, this figure is outstanding. I think the likeness and the proportions are amazing. I think this definitely has a case for figure of the year, and I'm so glad to have it in the collection. We're just now waiting for the Joker, and I can't wait to have that as well. I do have that pre-ordered, so I'm excited to finally keep adding some of these 2.0 figures for the Dark Knight. I think it's one of the best trilogies, and just want to give you one final look here at where the case stands today. We got the tumbler and it's all lit up. Then we have Batman Begins, who's modded almost to perfection. And then we have Bane here in the corner. Joker's going to go in between those two at a little bit of a tiered down level. And that's what I like about this base. You can adjust it. So it is super awesome, super excited. Thank you to Hawk Wars Toys for hooking me up. Hope you guys like this video. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.